Welcome, data enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into the core elements of database design, entities, attributes, and relationships. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your skills, this video will equip you with the knowledge you need to craft robust databases. Let's kick things off with entities. Simply put, an entity is anything we can store data about. It could be a person, a product, a transaction, or anything else that's meaningful to our database. Now, let's talk about attributes. Attributes are the characteristics or properties of an entity. They describe what we want to know about each instance of that entity. First up, the key attribute. This is a unique identifier for each instance of the entity. Think of it as the primary way we distinguish one entity from another. For example, in a student entity, the student ID might serve as the key attribute. Next, we have multi-valued attributes. These are attributes that can hold multiple values for a single instance of the entity. A classic example is the phone number attribute for a contact entity. A person might have more than one phone number associated with them. Derived attributes are those that are derived from other attributes in the database. They're not stored directly but calculated based on other information. An example could be the age attribute, which is derived from the date of birth. Lastly, compound attributes are made up of smaller attributes. They are like bundles of information that we treat as a single unit. An address attribute, for instance, might consist of street, city, state, and zip code. Now, let's shift gears and talk about relationships. Relationships define how entities are connected to each other in our database. In a one-to-one relationship, each instance of one entity is related to exactly one instance of another entity. This is like a direct link between two entities. In a one-to-many relationship, an instance of one entity can be related to multiple instances of another entity. But each instance of the second entity is related to only one instance of the first entity. Think of it as a parent-child relationship, where one parent can have multiple children, but each child has only one parent. Finally, in a many-to-many relationship, instances of one entity can be related to multiple instances of another entity, and vice versa. This often requires an intermediary table to manage the connections between the two entities. And lastly, let's touch on partial and total participation. Partial participation means that an instance of an entity can exist without being associated with an instance of another entity. Total participation, on the other hand, means that every instance of an entity must be associated with an instance of another entity. By mastering entities, attributes, and relationships, you'll be able to design databases that accurately represent your data and support your organization's needs. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more database design insights.